John Jones is the current light heavyweight king and the youngest ever UFC champion.
I did not start this war.
Slid early on here to Ronaldo! What a great finish!
Good morning, today is 17 October 2020 from the studio to at 36 News headquarters here in Jakarta. Good to be with you. My name is SALSABILA SANDRA. The government has revised its advice on face covering for school in England, which are beginning to reopen this week in areas the transmission of coronavirus is high. Masks will be compulsory for secondary pupils and staff, where social distancing isn't possible. Ministers had ruled out mandatory face coverings, saying the scientific advice so schools are safe. But the Education Secretary, Gavin Williamson, said the new guidelines are based on the latest World Health Organization rules. Scotland and Northern Ireland have already said secondary school pupils should wear masks in communal areas. Our reporter SERAYA has this report. Good morning, SERAYA.
Good morning, Sandra. In Leicestershire today, they already back to class and decided on face coverings. Pupils able to choose to wear them. Tonight, for secondary school, the details in areas where transmission of cares is high, compulsory use of face coverings in the busy part of the school. But where cases are low, it's up to the school. Who we have here is Fadilla Muhammad, one of the teachers' union.
We have got tonight is clarity that if you're in area which is higher risk, higher transmission rate, then there is an expectation that young people around school will be wearing those face covering, but equally there is the flexibility in other area. For you as a leader working with your staff, working with your governor, working with the community to do what's right in your context.
This school year brings new habits, each small change adding to the defense, the science and advice running to keep up with the virus. This is SERAYA, 36 News, back to you at the studio.
Alright, SERAYA, the government is calling this a revision of policy orders a U-turn. What's your assessment of this?
Well, yesterday, Gavin Williamson, the Education Secretary, was in school saying that the government wasn't in the position to recommend the wearing of face coverings in school. He said it wasn't needed, and actually in some cases, they feared that it could make it worse if the coverings weren't worn properly. But today, the pressure really began to build. Nicola Sturgeon saying she was going to bring it in Scotland now. Not everyone was pleased about the rumor that England would follow. One Tory MP said to me that it looked like the Prime Minister was being pushed around by Nicola Sturgeon. So I think what we've ended up with in England is a compromise that face coverings will be required, but only in areas where there's more transmission of the virus, so in those lockdown areas. But I do get the impression that there are those in the Department of Education who think that actually a lot of this is about reassurance. They are very keen to get the schools back in full from next week.
Okay, SERAYA, thank you for that. Cindy Julita is here. Okay, Cindy, how much of a surprise was this?
Not a huge one because the only really predictable result this summer Clive was that someone was going to have to carry the comfort mask. Gavin Williamson, when he's some weather, he had confidence in Collier's leadership. She pulled out of a BBC interview last Thursday and hasn't really answered any question about what went so bad wrong. She was facing a hearing in Parliament next week because there are so many students who are now launching appeals, who are opting for autumn exams, trying to get graded their need to get university places. Day one, there are still BTech students who don't have their final grades. And the fact so many teachers were alive and saying about their result and their futures. Well, now her predecessor, Dame Glennie Stacy, is back to steady the ship until the end of the year. And there are extra staff being drafted into off-call from after the school inspector to try and sort all this out. Son says that's evidence that off-call intends itself, not just its chief executive, isn't it up to the job?
That is the 36 news for today, and I'll be back with more updates. Until next time, thank you for watching and have a great day.